Boom! Hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Byron Rodgers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children, or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out. Boom. What's going on, guys? Byron Rodgers here for another episode of Executive Protection Lifestyle. I've got with me none other than the Mike Pannone actual in the house, man.
What's up?
Good to have you, brother. Good to
You in here, man?
Yes, sir. Good to finally get this in. We've been chasing this thing down for a minute, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
Both of us are pretty busy. Yeah, man. So, I kind of our paths crossed through Luke and a few other things like that. And I remember the first time I met you at the range. Me and Luke were going to go shoot, and then you decided to come and join us. And we just had some awesome talks about life, combat, PTSD, the reality of
some real talk going on there, man.
Yeah, man. So it was good to see that, you're just a real dude, who would come and hang with us like that, just drop a dime and
It's trying to be, man. There's no room for faking it, man.
Yeah.
Just got no time for that.
Yeah, man. So that was my first contact with you. I like to start this, so it's an honor having you. That's the main thing.
To be here, bro.
Thank you. So you have a whole, almost like a lifetime of experience from my perspective. I'm looking at you. What would you say is a moment in your career where you were like, dude, I'm doing what I want to be doing, like a defining moment?
Yeah, it's funny because I have a specific defining moment was an Amphibious Recon school doing a night heel cast on like a 2,000 meter swim, and I was burnt. I was just tired to the bone, just beat down from weeks and weeks and weeks of the course. And I remember we were in a helo, went out there, flared, exited the helicopter, and I remember landing in the water. It's kind of cold. You go underneath, like sound goes away. There's nothing. You just hear bubbles coming out of your equipment, and you're coming back up to the surface. You can hear the helo pulling away, and you break the surface, man. And it's like all of a sudden it's kind of quiet in the distance. You hear a helicopter. You hear the safety boat, that little hum of the motor and safety boat, and I hear the water lapping up against your gear and stuff. And it's like I remember thinking, like, man, I dig this. Like I could do this the rest of my career. I could spend the rest of my career doing stuff like this. And I never turned back. I was miserable. 2,000 meters in the dark, you're smoked anyway. But I still in its own strange way, I enjoyed it. I was like, I like doing this. I want to do this the rest of my career. And that's all I ever did.
That's awesome, man. It's one of those moments where the water levels rise. The pressures kind of rise, and some people are sitting there just like, what am I doing? Why am I here?
That's true, man. You're straight up on that. It's like some dudes are like, man, I wonder why I'm doing this. They're in their mind, they're trying to find a reason to stop doing it because it's uncomfortable. And it's like you're looking to find a reason to succeed, or you're looking to try and find a reason to fail. Like one or the other. Pick one, but you're going in one direction. If you're not trying to succeed, then whether or not you'll admit it to yourself, you're trying to fail. So it's like, I remember I want to make it through all this because I want to do this all the time. I want this to be my lifestyle. And then I never looked back. I never regretted it. That was the defining, that's when I knew this is what I would do until I was either, broken dead or forced out.
Heck yeah.
So it was definitely a defining moment.
That's awesome, man. If you're not, what did you just, if you're not trying to succeed, whether or not you're willing to admit it, you're trying to fail.
Yeah, you're trying to give up. You're trying to find a reason to quit. That's what they do in every selection process I've ever been in the reconnaissance community, in the Marine Corps, in SF, at JSOC, at Delta. They're just trying to find, they want to see how you're going to convince yourself to succeed or how you're going to convince yourself to fail. How you're going to convince yourself that it's okay to quit. It's okay to give up. And that's, to me, it's like, I could go someplace and not be good enough, not make it. Like I wasn't packing the gear, man. I just wasn't that guy.
Yeah,
I can live with that as long as I gave you what I got. And I show you everything I got under the hood, I'm putting out. And if that's not enough, then I shouldn't be here. But I can't stand there a week later and look in the mirror when I'm shaving and go, I wasn't man enough to stick it out. I wasn't man enough to give them up, everything I had. Like, I didn't want to live like that. So it's like, hey, win, lose, or draw, man. I'll give you everything I got. And if it's what you want, I'm here. So,
no, that's what's up, man. And that's like that, something I've noticed to be very steady in guys that have achievements like this, or even like something that I feel like is something that I've been able to hold as a secret weapon that's gotten me through things in life is, look, I'm either going to do this or I'm going to die trying to do it.
Yeah.
Because I can't wake up tomorrow morning and look in the mirror. Like if I fail, if I break, then that's fine. I'll be happy broken until I heal up,
Yeah.
But if I know I didn't put out,
dude, you can avoid anyone in the world. They can avoid anybody. I don't care who it is. You can avoid them for the rest of your life and not have to deal with them, except for your damn self. You got to look at yourself every day and go, I quit. Yeah. I gave up. I wanted that really bad until it got hard, and then I didn't want it so much. And it's just
it's mortifying.
It's like success, just like failure. Both of them are a habit. You over time. The more you succeed, the more you want to succeed, the more you succeed. The more you give up or the more you fail, the more you accept failure. I'm not saying you're trying to fail per se, but you're not willing to put the time in. And guys do that all the time. Like, just ride into the ground burning, man. Like, hey, if you fail, there's no shame in failing. None. Right. It's okay. There's shame in saying you want to do something or be something and then not being willing to actually do it. Like, go, hey, man, all of a sudden it gets hard. Yeah. That's why there's special jobs and special people and special things. And, it's like you don't get to be an Olympic athlete unless you work your ass off. You don't just show up because you want to be one. Right. And there's a bunch of people that try really hard and don't make it. No shame. But so that to me is like on the lifestyle part of it. Be cool with who you are. If you try and do something, like put 100% into it or be out. Like it's ones and zeros. It's like on or off. Like you're either doing it or you're not doing it. Halfway in, you're just wasting time. You're doing something else.
Yeah. And if you put it all in and you fail, and you got a chance to refit and get smarter and whip that trash out again.
Hell yeah, do it again. That doesn't mean you can't try again. Totally.
If you were going to describe at your core, who would you say you are? Who's Mike Pannone?
Truthfully, I'm just a regular dude that tries real hard. I like to succeed. I once you taste success at the end of hard work, you want it more. It's like a drug. You want to succeed. You want to be good at things. And I never... Just like I said, I was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time for certain opportunities. Yeah. But I also made those opportunities. I also set the foundation for it, and I'm willing to do what it takes. I'm willing to work hard to be good at stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that like we say when I was in the military, man, everybody wants to be a commando on a sunny day. On a full stomach, like
when it ain't raining, exactly. When that horno cloud ain't right,
exactly, man. Like when your boots aren't soaked and your freaking blood coming out of your jungle boot vents and shit, like then it's not fun anymore. Then it's work again. And so it's like that. What people see, the stylized part that people see on YouTube and on television,
on the gram.
On the gram. That's not what it's like in real life.
Yeah,
like it's hard and there's so much, but the rewards are you get to do some amazing things and you meet some of the finest people that you'll ever meet. And you wind up, even in years past, like I left and I still meet people that are of the caliber and quality that I like to be around. You, Luke, people like that I relate to. You build a lifestyle and you become selective in the people that are around you because they enhance your capabilities or your existence, or they're trustworthy. And so it's a full spectrum. It's not just I did this job, but then I'm somebody completely else over here. Yeah. It becomes a part of your persona, and you start to judge people in the way you judge yourself. And if you accept a substandard performance from yourself, then you'll begin to accept it from others. It's like it's hard.
It's true.
It's pretty simple stuff, man. The magic is there's no magic. Like, it's all simple.
And the sooner you accept this,
it's like
start
simple
fighting.
Stuff, man. It's simple.
Yeah,
it's like,
man. I like what you said about the people you have around you, because what I say is I'm always like when I look at you, I see your standards. I see your relational standards. Mm-hmm. I see your financial, physical standards. Your standards for life. And it's true because the people we choose to be around, especially after you're outside of places where you're forced to be friends with people.
Yeah.
You know, those are the people that are in alignment with your standard, with your standards, you know.
You're around for a reason.
Yeah.
You're around people, the people that you choose to be around invariably are people that have qualities that you genuinely respect.
Yeah.
You see things in them like you
Either
recognize
good or
yeah.
bad.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah. But you like look at them and go, I like the way this person does this or carries himself in this way. There's something about them that you admire, and that's where the friendship is based. Otherwise, you're like, why would you be around them?
Right.
And so the people you surround yourself like are the people that you surround yourself with become people that are in their own way role models. There's something about them you would want to emulate. You look at it and go, I like what this person does here. I want to be more like that. If you're not that way, then you're not being honest.
Yeah.
Like it's true. You look at people and go, I would like to be better at that, like him or like her, whomever it is. And so that's how your friends have the people you surround yourself with that are genuinely your friends have an effect on how you conduct your life because you learn something from everyone you're around if you have your eyes open. And so I learned from, like I said, from all the people that I surround myself with. I learn something from them every chance I get because that's why I have them around me, because there's something about them that I admire, a trait or a strength or a quality.
Yeah. And finding that after you get out of the military was kind of the other gem, was like, yo, that's valuable because you can feel like a dang extinct.
Oh,
like, you can feel like,
you feel like
even getting out of the grunts. It's like, I remember getting out and looking around like, who am I going to be friends with now? Like how am I going to find somebody that likes my jokes even?
Yeah, it's hard. I remember when I came back, when I got back from Iraq in 2005, it was like 2 days or 3 days later. I got back on like a Thursday night, and Monday morning I was in a college class. I was sitting in a room. I felt like I got beamed in from outer space.
Man, I was about to say, man.
Like, what am I going to talk about? I still got like burned goggle marks on my face and stuff. I'm sitting there.
And they're just looking at you like, who's this dude?
One chick walked. He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Introduce yourself. He's like, you've been skiing?
Skiing.
It's just kind of like, it was weird to, the things that people would say and the things that you do, it was difficult because they're not, I was fortunate. There's a dude in my class from 101st. Yeah. So that was cool. He got it. He'd been in Iraq before and all. So it was like, that helped kind of soften the blow, but you feel, because you're around an extreme version of people. Like, if you're an infantry guy, man, all the way up from infantry is the foundation of special operations. So everybody recognizes each other. We talk a certain way. We interact a certain way. We have certain sensitivities and insensitivities that you don't understand. Like we're really insensitive about a lot of stuff, but there's some stuff we're really sensitive about. You don't go there, and people will.
Everyone will stand up in the room and you'll have a problem.
Right. Like it's a different. You come from a really unique tribe.
Yeah.
And like when you get outside of it, you're an outsider, and you just got to start. You got to learn to assimilate into that new society that you're in once you're out of nothing but the military. So it's just you have to make an effort. They don't. That's their place now, and you're assimilating in. So the guys that come back that feel like an outsider, and I was one of those guys. Dude, make an effort. Do stuff that you don't normally do. Go do things with people that you wouldn't normally. Yeah. I mean,
widen that sphere. Of
exactly. You've got to learn what their experience is, what their life is like, and what they do for entertainment and fun and joy. And you might find some stuff that you actually like, but the stuff that you used to do is an anomaly to them. They don't understand it really. The kind of life you led, they really don't understand unless they're a military guy. So it takes a little bit, but you have to consciously do it.
Yeah. No, I dig it. What would you say is your mission nowadays?
To pass on what I learned. Like I tell people, all the time when I train with them, but people, hear this, you've heard it say it before. I haven't forgotten what the other side of a gun looks like. Like I know what it's like to watch people who don't know what they're doing and watch the fear on their face and the anxiety and like, what do I do now? That whole, people say like the look, I had the look of terror on his face. You see somebody that's really terrified.
It's just rips your heart out. Like,
it's a look. It's a real thing. It's a thing, man. It's like, holy crap, that dude is terrified. Yeah. And I don't, there's a lot of stuff that I learned along the way. I mean, came from, 3 special units and 2 different services. Yeah. And there's a lot that I learned from a lot of great, Marines and soldiers and sailors and airmen. I work with every branch. I work with, the Air Force Special Operations component, with SEALs, with SF, with, Force Recon, Battalion Recon, Rangers, all of it. And I got a lot from different people because I wanted to learn. Like, what are you better than me at, or what do you understand better than me or differently than me? Mm-hmm. And those lessons I want to pass on, but I want to pass them on without them. bullshit bravado.
Yeah,
you know,
ego.
you're a Spartan warrior, you're a Viking,
Yeah.
you know, with your shit. Well, stop it. Just be a dude. Just like, hey, this is what I know. This is why it works. Let's do it. I'll explain it. I'll tell you that the bravado part of it, dude, that doesn't get you there, man. Like there's nobody there going, man, you're a Spartan warrior when it's on. It's like, you're like, you're just getting it done because you're like, holy crap, I'd like to not get shot.
Yeah, I want to go home. I want my dudes to come home with me.
Yeah,
I want my wife and kids to make it out of 7-Eleven this evening. Yeah,
it's very matter of fact, and that's why I deal with that way. I don't. It just in the training that I do and stuff that I present on like social media now, just be a regular dude, man. Like you still get the business done. Like that's not an issue, but you don't have to be, like it doesn't cost any extra to be a good guy, man.
Yeah.
You just be a good guy and it all works out. And if you got to do the business, then you do it.
Right.
But you can still be a good guy. Like you can be polite and you can be decent and you can be the whole, I'm a badass killer guy. Like, stop. Just
yeah. I think it's the most unhealthy version of it. It's like truly strong people can afford to be the most gracious.
Absolutely.
And the most legit guys I've met. They're always the most relaxed. They're usually kind of a lot of times they're the quieter guys in the room.
You know what? You got nothing to prove, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're not trying to prove like where I was from.
You wouldn't even know.
JSOC, people say all the time, man. Like everybody knows who the killers are.
Yeah.
Like they don't have to tell you. They're usually just there's laid back dudes that get it done, and the rest of it, like talk's cheap, man. Everybody talks about what you're gonna do. Well, whatever, man.
Yeah.
That's theory, bro.
Yeah, we
That's
already
theory.
see it. Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you what I've done.
No, the guy who will make me think twice is the guy who's confident, who shows up and he's being polite, and a fight's about to happen, and he's like quiet and polite. He's like, well, and he's like trying to reason with you. Yeah. That's the guy.
That's the dude you gotta watch out for. The guy that's like the guy that puts his drink back on the table and steps back and goes, I'll be right back. Like that dude who's not talking. It's like people are talking smack, and like the dude just kind of steps back and goes, all right.
Like here we are.
Yeah, okay.
That's
I guess
guy
it's gonna happen.
Watch out for.
And that's why the talkers, man, the screaming and the yelling and the
bravado,
and I'm like, I'm just not. Hey, if you got to get psyched up to do what you're doing, you got to get spun up. You're not ready.
You were never. You weren't ready.
You should be able to wake up and go, okay, time to do the business.
Yeah,
let's go.
Do it,
like,
and then come back and have a drink and
that's why I look at a lot of social media, how they've stylized it, how it's all cool. It's got music in the background. I'm like, I got it. It's cool. And, I dig it every once in a while. I watch it, like, it's pretty badass. Yeah. It's not real. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Like it's entertaining to watch. It's like it's what they don't see, and I said it before, what you don't see is all the stuff on the other side of it, all the discomfort and all the injury, people getting, like broken, overseas, people getting broken and shot up and blown up and all the stuff that happens.
And missing home.
Yeah. And not like going, wow, every day you wake up. Well, here's an example. I remember going out when I was an advisor, going out with some Marines, and one guy had like pictures of his family and stuff and his helmet on. I was like, do yourself a favor. Just take those out and leave them here. Because they're not with us right now.
Yeah. And if you want my sacred picture.
Yeah, I was like, exactly. I was like, if you want to go home in one piece with all your parts and everything, put those back there. Because when we go out, they're not with us. It's just us.
You got to find your way back to that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you're trying to do, is get back to that. So looking at it and having it on your mind, if that's on your mind, then there's some other stuff that's not on your mind. It should be.
Yeah.
And so guess what? Compartment. Take that stuff and that stays in your hooch. Yeah. And when you go out to do business, it's work time.
We're doing the business.
It's work time. And there's no, none of that stuff. And he was kind of, I can tell he was a little like,
didn't know how to.
Yeah, it's like, well,
everyone's programmed to think like, this is sweet and this is my little piece of home what I take with me.
Yeah, but when you're over there, it ain't sweet. It's not sugar, spice, and everything nice, man.
It's time to have the claws out.
Yeah, it's work time, and that's what I told him. Yeah, just leave that stuff back there. Yeah. Your mind should be on what you got to do, because if it's not there, mistakes get expensive. And his gun, he was cool about it. He was like, he's got a point, man. Like that ain't gonna help you. No. And plus, it's like, you don't want to get all freaking brassed up and have somebody, stripping through your gear and pull pictures of your wife and daughter out and look at them over your freaking
dead body.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not going to give somebody that.
Yeah.
No, so I'm going to deny them all of that just as a man. Like that's not how it's going to go.
That's something I carry in my heart. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't need a graphic representation of them. I know who they are. So just little stuff like that. That kind of mindset is when you talked about. What is your mission now? What do you want to give back? That like the realistic part of it, the
Not
flashy. Like, hey man, like I said, the magic is there's no magic. This is simple. Dude's been doing it since the beginning of time, man.
Yes.
And so it's like, we know all the answers. The technology changes, but people have been they've been in combative engagement since the beginning of time, whether you're a soldier or Marine, or you're a cop, or you're a private citizen. There's certain things that work. And there's some things that I understand. But
the game is the same.
The game is exactly the same. The game's all up here. It's in your head, man. So that's what I want to give back the stuff that I learned that people gave to me. All those soldiers and Marines and sailors and that served when I first came in. They were old timers, man. They were in Vietnam, and the stuff that they learned, they were trying to pass on, to us. And those lessons, it's now I was their legacy, and now it's my job to pass everything that I know on to the next generation.
That's awesome. What would you say? You have a favorite quote, mantra?
No, I mean, there's a couple of them. The magic is there's no magic.
4 of them already. Yeah.
Well,
the magic is there's no magic.
Yeah. And
so good.
it doesn't cost any extra to be a good guy.
Yeah.
Like those are big ones for me because they're like they cover everything. Nothing is really that freaking hard.
It really isn't.
It really isn't that hard.
Wisdom's never that complicated. It just can be difficult sometimes to implement.
What I think is that overwhelmingly people know what they should do. They know what to do. They just can't make themselves do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I know what should go. Like when people ask you, hey man, should I do this? They already know the answer.
Yeah.
You just don't want me to say, no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, you should be doing that. Yeah. Like, oh, yeah. And then they'll ask somebody else, wait for the answer that says, no, I don't have to do the hard thing. Like, come on, man. Like that's why in any kind of like struggle in your life, if you are asking other people what you should do, you better genuinely not know what the hell you're doing. Right. And two, you better be going to someone that would have the answer.
Yeah.
Don't go answer shopping. And you're going to say, yeah, man, take the easy route.
If
that's
they're
the way
on
to
your
go.
same level and you're not at a high level, you probably shouldn't even. Yeah. You should be seeking some wisdom, man.
That's what I tell them. I call it answer shopping.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Or there's the asshole, the one that asks your advice and then doesn't
do good.
Yeah. No, it's funny because John Nettle said the same type of thing, man. He's like, it's about doing the right thing.
Yeah. Johnny's a good dude, man. Good friend of mine. And yeah, he's a guy like me, man. He just, it's a no bullshit kind of persona where it's, hey man, this is the way it is. If you have a better way, I'm down. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But these are things that I know from experience. That's one of the
things a huge one with things happening today. There's a lot of people out there with varying levels of experience that are reining in on things. It's kind of
and that's one of the hallmarks to me of a good instructor is it's from experience. That's why when you mentioned John, like he does the same thing I do. These are things I've done. Like I say, this works, and I know this works because I did it. Yeah. And this is why it works. Now you don't need to go into there was no shit needed, been hand grenade pins and all that crap all the time. Just say I know it works. And if you're legit, people know you. Mm-hmm. Like people in the community know you. Like people know me. They know what I've done. They know what I haven't done. And I'm not trying to represent things as something they're not. But I'll tell them this works and this is why it works. And I can explain that. If I have to say I was there and you weren't, so you don't know and you have to listen to me, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You gotta
drop all the other stuff and go, this is why it works. This is the mechanism of success. Yeah. And that's why I've modeled that instruction by removing the, we're out at O'Loughlin's, eating wings, drinking beers, telling war stories. There's time for that. Don't get me wrong. But it ain't on the range. It ain't
it's
training.
O'Loughlin's though.
Exactly. It's not while we're on the range. And that's why, the guys that I know that I really value they're based in an understanding, a operational and practical understanding of the techniques. They go, I understand how this is applied because I've done it and this is why it works. Yeah. Like I said, with like guys like Johnny, I said, when I talk to him on the phone, I'll ask him, what about this? What do you think about that? Because he's got a perspective that I don't in some ways. And I have a perspective that he doesn't. Nobody sees a task exactly the same way. We're very close because we came from the same community. We came from the same place, but he'll see something I don't see. And I'll go, damn, I never thought of that. That's good. Yeah. That's a good point. Or I'll do the same. And that's why you've got to be willing to listen to people of value and say, if they've got a better idea, go, damn, man, that's a good idea. I'm gonna run with that too. And I what I call footnoting. Yeah. If I take something from somebody I know, from Johnny or from Jim Smith or from somebody like that, I will say, yeah, I got this from John Nettles. He's a buddy of mine. Or I got this from Jim Smith. We worked together on this project. I will tell people if it's a unique noteworthy idea, I will say I got it from this guy because he deserves the credibility for it. Like, I didn't come up with this. I got it from another guy. He's a valued man to me, and his word is good.
Yeah, out of respect.
Yeah, it's a respect thing.
And you can make sure, I mean, it keeps the good idea fairy out of it.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, you got to watch out for the good idea.
Yeah.
You know, you got to beat the brakes out of some of these ideas.
No kidding there, man.
Because good idea fairies out there, man.
Sprinkling good idea dust everywhere.
Right, and that's why it's good to have, people that have some operational experience. You get a deeper understanding for what it is you're talking about, not just hey, this sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Oh God, theory. God bless. And theoretically, stop right there. Theoretically, it's like
my life on some theoretically.
Yeah. When people say theoretically, it's like SPOTA. Like SPOTA work, but we don't know. Theoretically, like I got a parachute, and theoretically it'll open. Want to jump out of a plane with it? No. No. I'm not jumping out on theory, and that's when I see people do things, and they don't look at the second or third order effects in these techniques, and they look cool. That YouTube and Instagram have been really good because a lot of ideas get out, and they've been really bad because a lot of ideas get out. Yeah. And you see people that have no business doing stuff. You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You're like, do you have any friends? Yeah. It's just you and this camera, and this seemed like a good idea to you, and now the world's here. Yeah.
It's like, wow, I see stuff. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable and scared in my house watching these. That's how bad it is. So it's like
easy.
You see a lot of them will come up with something that at first blush, it looks like, wow, that's a good idea.
Right.
And then when you stop and you actually evaluate it, it's like a really bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, there's stuff out there that is taken as gospel that, like, I've always been kind of the piss in the punch bowl guy. Yeah. Like I see stuff people do all the time. I'm like, that's stupid. And this is exactly why. Yeah. And they'll look at you like, well, wait a minute. All the other good idea guys say it's a great idea.
Yeah. We just do it.
We just do it because they've always done it. Or you hear people that they are invested in their idea because that's what we do, because we do that, because that's what we do. We do. Because we do that. Like, okay.
And the other guys said to do it, so we just do it.
Yeah, like think about it. What is it? How do you replicate it? How does it provide the result reliably that you want? If you can't explain that to me, then why are you doing it? Right? I tell people all the time, if I can't tell you exactly what to do and exactly why it works, then I don't know. And if I don't know, why am I teaching it to you?
Yeah, 100%. And it's sad that should be the standard for things that people are doing. Even something as simple as, we don't move backwards on the battlefield. Okay, I understand if I got like a whole bunch of Marines, I got to push through training and they're from everywhere in America and like, different intelligence levels and different and you got to make them hold cups with two hands in the chow hall. You know what I mean? Like, I love my guys.
We
all know what the deal is.
And
it's like, okay, that makes sense. But now, like, you're out and you're trying to operate at a higher level, and you're going to you're training for life and all this other stuff. It shouldn't surprise you. I feel you got to train it all. You know what I mean? Like, why guys shouldn't be losing their mind when you're moving backwards on the range? Like, can your body move backwards?
Yeah.
Maybe you should just be good at it.
Exactly. It's like people go, oh, you never move backwards. Why? Well, because you could fall down. If I never do it, I'm going to move backwards.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to move backwards. Yeah. You're going to run away. Yeah. You're going to do a whole bunch of stuff that everybody says you don't do. Yeah, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna hold a position that I can't fight from effectively just because somebody said don't go backwards.
Yeah.
You're gonna back up.
If it makes the most sense, I'm done.
I'm gonna do it. So stop saying always and never. Like, oh, I never do that. I always do this. No, you don't. You should be doing what makes sense. And anybody that says always and never, they're like 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional world. Like, dude, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, like nothing's always and never pretty much.
So and that's why I tell people, like, I was doing a pistol class for a LE organization. And they're like, well, one of the guys like, well, statistically, you're never going to take a shot. We're shooting at 50 yards. Yeah. It's like, oh, you're never going to take a shot at 50 yards. And I'm like, you're right. You're exactly right. You are never going to take a shot at 50 yards until you have to take a shot at 50 yards. And you don't know how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And if you actually never have to take a shot at 50 yards, but you can, 10 yards is a chip shot, 15 yards is a chip shot. It's nothing. You will have a level of emotional confidence. You're like, I got this.
Yeah.
Because you shot at 50 yards.
Valuable.
It's like, that's the whole, like, people talk about the mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's confidence. It's confidence in your abilities. And if you overtrain for the event, you train in excess of the event. If the bulk of my shots are from 5 yards, combative shots based on my organization are 5 to 15 yards. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So triple that, 45 yards. Let's round it up to 50. Yeah. And I'm going to shoot at 50 yards because you know what? everything underneath that is a layup. It's easy. And I'm ready for it. I'm like, I can make that shot. Now you've got some crazy dude that, like, this is more oriented towards law enforcement. You got some crazy dude with a knife or a gun to somebody's head in a grocery store because he's lost his mind and his wife left him and emptied his bag, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to want to take that shot because you're not confident in taking that shot. If all your shots have been sloppy at, only the qual distance.
15, 8.
And so it's like that's why we
so
overtrain.
Yeah.
He got it, but he was still like, well, but still statistically, I'm like, statistically. So what are the chances? Has anybody ever taken a shot at 50 yards? He goes, well, yeah. Then it could happen to you.
Yeah, unless
so
you got
when
a
are you ready
crystal
for
ball.
it?
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
And confidence comes from experience.
Yeah.
And
why
skill.
not train? Yeah, exactly. And skill. And so why not train yourself to where you can have that max confidence for the highest amount of engagements?
No, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
Be at the 50-yard line doing wind ditches.
Trying to figure it out. What? So just so everyone's caught up, tactical background.
I started out in the Marine Corps. I was an infantryman, and I went to Indoc, and then I went to reconnaissance. I actually went from infantry training school at Camp Geiger. I went to Amphibious Recon School straight away. I was one of the first groups of guys that went directly to Amphibious Recon School. Usually you went to the grunts first for like a year or two, but they were letting people go in. So I went to Amphibious Recon School, and then I went to Okinawa straight from there, 3rd Recon Battalion, which is freaking awesome. And that was the beginning of it. So I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps Reconnaissance Battalion and Force, stateside and Okinawa. And then I switched over to SF. I came in, I had a Chronosport watch, which is, anybody knows, if you know, you know. Anyway, the Chronosport watch, this dude walked in, he's like, hey man, I was working at a gun shop. And he walked in, he's like, hey, that's a nice watch. Like, where'd you get it? I was like, I got issued to me. And he goes, oh, what do you do? So I'm a diver in the Marine Corps. He's like, oh, really? You're a reconnaissance guy, like recon dude? And I'm like, yeah. Did you ever think about joining the Army? We're like, no.
Yeah, as a Marine, I'm sure you're you're like, no.
And he goes, well, did you ever think about being an SF?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I would. He goes, well, there's a program where you can come straight over and go there. And I was like, whatever, I don't make it. Just okay, just wondering. And he's like, well, then you can go to the Army and this and that. He's like, but you'll be an infantry. So I went over and switched services and went to selection, made it. And I was an SF, and then I went to, and I was at the unit, and then I ate a breaching charge on a joint readiness exercise. Anyway, long story, breaching charge fell and detonated in midair when I fired it, and it split me, shattered my skull, and blew my eye out. And so I medically retired from there. And that was right. I medically retired right before the war kicked off. And then after the war kicked off, I was like, I've talked about it before. I was like, I'm going to find my way into the fight with a rifle in my hands. I'm going to get back into somehow.
This was always the point.
Yeah.
You're like,
I was training for this shit.
Always the point.
Yeah. It was hard, man. So I was like, I was on the Super Bowl team, man. I was
I was tip of the spear.
And so I the first step I went into the Air Marshal program was old Sergeant Major Craig Maxson called me from he was old B Squadron Sergeant Major. He called me. He's like, hey man, we're setting up the Air Marshal program. You want to do that? I was like, yeah, man. So I went and did that. And then that was the first step. I did that for about a year. I got a full-time position. I'll stand up the Seattle field office. And then I went to Iraq in 03 doing PSD, 03 and 04. And then 05, I was a ground combat advisor with what would become AWG. So I found my way back, got a belly full of it. But that's the background. So I had two different services, Marine Corps and Battalion and Force Recon, SF, SFOD, and then the Air Marshal program, which was actually pretty cool because it was all inside of aircraft. So it was really unique. I'd done aircraft work at Delta, but it was kind of cool to do it on the LE civilian side. And then went to the Federal Firearms Instructor course and all the civilian federal LE courses, which was cool. And then I started working with Kyle Lamb, buddy of mine. I was actually at his retirement, and I was his first senior instructor. I worked at VTAC for a couple of years, and then put out my own shingle, and still here, man.
Still singing the jangle. Yeah,
hell yeah, man.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
What would you say?
What was your biggest takeaway from recon?
I would say that the biggest takeaway that I got from that community really was the fieldcraft side of it. We were in the bush all the time. We were out in the jungle moving at night. I learned to navigate in Triple Canopy jungle, in which even in the daylight it's like freaking dark. But yeah. I learned a whole bunch of things, a bunch of fieldcraft stuff, hard skill stuff. That was the foundation of everything else I did. I learned to move and navigate. I learned that in the jungle it's wet, but there's not always water. Like there's all kinds of stuff you only learn being there. And so I learned it, how to do more with less. We didn't have all kinds of budgets. Like, Battalion and Force now got way better equipment and way better budgets and way better everything than we did. Like we used to untie 550 cord off the boats, fresh water, rinse it, and hang it to dry. Like we didn't
make stuff out of it, to do stuff
with, to reuse it. So I learned, I was a kid from the other side of the tracks, and I never had a lot, but we never turned anything away, and we made do with everything we had.
Okay.
And so it's like I learned to do a lot more with a lot less and be okay with it, and that taught me to respect the equipment that I got and the funding and the support that I got in SF and a Delta. Like I learned a lot about the generic term soldiering being there. I, like I said, learned how to navigate. I mean, if nothing else, man, you learn to be on time, do what you're told, shut the fuck up.
Takes you so far in life.
Yeah, it's like
so far in life. If you can do that nowadays, you're a stud. You're a killer. You're rock corporate America. Like, watch out. Yeah. All right. What would you say you got from the SF community?
SF was non-standard problem solving. I mean, I got special skill stuff, sniper school and all this kind of stuff. I got some cool skills there, but we would go places and there was no playbook. You just made it up. You just showed up. It was like, hey man, make it so. Yeah. And you're like, okay. And you had to interact with people. You had to learn their cultures. I mean, I was in Asia. My whole career, basically, the bulk of my time was in Okinawa and in Recon, and then in SF at First Group. And even when I was stateside in SF, we were in Asian. We covered Asia. So I was always the freaking the standout. I was the white guy.
Yeah, like walking around.
You got to learn to assimilate into other cultures to endear yourself to them, like to make them want to work with you. Like, if you talk down to them, if you don't respect their customs and curse, you got to learn all that stuff. You learn to be a good dude. You learn hey,
to be a good,
if you're not going to succeed by being a jackass. Right. So you got these people when they're not doing great and you're like, they're not Americans. These guys are a underfunded, conscript army.
Okay.
That's not the same as an all volunteer, very educated, very well funded military.
Right. They don't want to even be there.
No. So you've got to make these people. You learn to create the playbook as you go, and you learn to convince people to do what you want them to do, not try and force them.
Yeah.
You learn humility. Like you can't separate yourself from those people. They have to be your peers, whether or not they are skill wise.
Yeah.
You got to treat them like they're just one of the crew. And those guys will do anything for you. I've had guys that we trained and worked with and employed operationally, and they were like, once they know that you actually give a damn about them and you respect them, they acknowledge that they're not as good maybe technically as you are and all.
Yeah.
But they're giving you everything they got, and as long as you understand that,
that's the most valuable.
Yeah, So you learn that part of it. You learn to be a decent guy, to respect other people's skills and weaknesses, and just get things done without being dictated. This is exactly how you do it. Like they just give you an end state and go, it's going to look like this at the end. Go, and you make it up, which is you learn more that way because there's a little more trial and error in there, and you start to build a knowledge base that allows you to accept without stress non-standard problems and just solve them. Like we just fix stuff. You'll hear guys say it. That's what we do. We go to places where it's a mess and we make it clean again. We fix it.
Fix
and
it.
Nobody knows exactly how to do that until they're there.
Yeah.
And you have to send a certain kind of person there to do that because they have to be
self-starters.
Yeah, they have to be humble. They have to be self-starters. They have to want they have to want the challenge of being able to solve things on their own.
A sophisticated problem too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, that's so valuable. Because that's what life is, man. Life is like an ever-changing, more sophisticated, multifaceted, different type of problem. And I think, and especially if you're on the entrepreneur side of things, or just anything you want in life, between you and that thing is like discipline and a problem that's going to evolve until you become enough to actually embody what's
think about doing protection work. Is that done all over the world too?
Yeah.
I think it's always kind of the same, but it's never the same. So you got to be able to look at stuff and go, okay, look at a structure. As soon as you get there, look and go, okay, entrances, exits, how do we control it? Where all those things are going to change every time, and you're going to have a challenge that you didn't expect every site, every detail you work in. You go, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's not like, holy crap, this is all screwed up. Nobody's interested. It's okay, how do I make this right? What's the end state? What does it have to look like when it's done? Okay, I'm going to get there somehow.
Yeah.
And there's a level of confidence that comes with that. And there's a level of smoothness that comes with that. You're not frantic.
Calmness.
Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, we got this. Like, oh, that door's locked. It's like, okay, go to the front desk, get this person. They're going to have the key. Yep. You start solving. You just flow. You start solving problems seamlessly. And it looks, I've had people say, it looks like you expected that. like
you're inoculated to that type of stress. That's
Absolutely.
what it is. I completely dig what you're saying. You can tell guys that have been there or like live that type of life and that don't, because one thing happens and they're so rigid and they're like, oh my gosh. And can you believe they, and you're looking at them like, is someone bleeding? I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, exactly. We're not putting a tourniquet on anybody. It's okay.
Okay, we're good. No, that's awesome, man.
You see that with detail. Somebody's in the wrong position. You get when you do an arrival in the wrong position, just fill in.
Yeah.
Okay, get in the wrong position. That'll happen. Just fix it. Like
flow. Yeah. Just flow, and you can whisper something in his ear later on. We can figure it out. That's good stuff. What about the unit? What was the biggest takeaway?
It was driven by performance. It was all about performance, and it was technical. Everything was exactly a certain way. Now, getting to a technique, we were super flexible, very much like SF, like try a bunch of different stuff, do a bunch of different stuff. Once we arrived at this is the way we do it exactly like this. And that's the way you get a level of proficiency and speed and efficiency on target. Like we could do things and move rapidly in a way that other people were really challenged to do. Other units had difficulty doing at the pace we did it, at the precision we did it, because we were very specific. Like the things we did exactly a certain way for exactly a certain reason. And they produced exactly a certain result. Wow. And so the technical nature of it really, I was kind of stunned. I expected that. Yeah. But it was like, it's like you get there like, no, this is no joke. Like things are done exactly a certain way. And the thing that I really liked, and it's a little daunting for some, is you would do something and they would just ask you, why'd you do that? They weren't second guessing you. They just want to know, why did you do that? Yeah. Like, why did you do that? I remember.
It's the quality of your thought. What's the quality of your mind processing?
Yeah, they never accepted. I don't know.
Well, you better know.
You just don't want to say.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember going in OTC. I went into a room, we were doing CQB, and I freaking shot a no-shoot target, man. That happened. Everybody does it. Yeah. I don't know a single guy that's ever gone through OTC and didn't do it. Yeah. I remember doing it, and it was like one of the guys jumped off the cage. Everyone knows who he is, Norm. But anyway, he goes, what'd you just do? And I remember trying to like scrolling through my 12-year-old boy. Like, I didn't take the time, and I didn't look, and I shot a non-hostile. Yeah. I shot a canary. It's like, that's exactly what you did. Okay. And I still got written up, and I still, but just man up, man. You make a mistake. And I learned, he pulled me aside later. He's like, you know what you did? You ran in there and you went, you look like you might be a bad guy. Take 2 of these. Yeah. Like you didn't think, you didn't take the extra second. And that was a big mantra there. It's like, you can pay lots of people to shoot. It's the guys that cannot shoot at the right time that are key. The people that we deliver energy to things that need energy delivered to it and not other stuff. And that's where that judgment part of it, because you don't have a ton of time. You've got a split second to make a decision. Yeah. If you don't have the mental process to do that, then this isn't the unit for you. And that's why a lot of guys, it's not the guys that make it through and get there. They don't get bounced because they can't do it physically. It's not, the physical part is freaking hard. It's no joke. But the guys that don't make it through, it's mental. They can't, the information that they throw at you, the amount you have to learn is a freaking lot. And they're like, it's corporate. Like, hey man, it's the thing with like a football team. If you're not putting points on the scoreboard, we'll find somebody that does. Like, they're like, you're a great guy. We love your wife and kids. You're fun at barbecues. Find another job. Right. This ain't for you, man. Nothing personal, but this isn't for everybody. It's, that's what I thought was so cool about it, because they say it all the time. We're not looking for the best man at the job. We're looking at the right man for the job. And like, it is smart people. When you see it and you learn it and you see it on the battlefield, see it over in a rack place like that, smart people are freaking dangerous. Yes. They're really dangerous. And they are
force multipliers.
Yeah. And so they want smart guys. They want physically fit, aggressive, all that, but they want smart guys. Yeah. And so that's what the level, the intellectual level of that place, I was really taken back by it. There's a lot of smart dudes there. And it's like, you can be Mr. Johnny Wonderful. You show up there, you're just Johnny other dude.
Yeah. You're like,
you ain't all
Johnny
that
Wonderful.
Yeah. You're like Johnny Wonderful anymore. You're just you're just Johnny over there. Yeah. So it was definitely, there's no off time. There's no you're on the clock, man. You step through the gate, it's work time. There's no screwing off. There's no, we were just screwing around. People are like, screw the fuck around somewhere else then. Not here.
Yeah. Because the clock's running, and what are you doing? Mm-hmm. What would you say you took away from the air marshals?
That was interesting because I got a law enforcement side of it, and what I learned is some of the limitations that law enforcement has. Basically, it's ROE, like the rules of engagement, how their use of force continuum and all that. There are limitations, but there's an overlap that was surprising to me. And it's basically like the rules of engagement are there in the ROE to keep people from doing things that they shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're intelligent, it doesn't really matter. Like you don't shoot people, don't need shooting.
Yeah.
It's like
me doing these things. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, and so I learned that there was a lot that overlap. I learned that the combative side of it really drove home. If there's two dudes fighting each other with guns, I don't care what you're wearing. I don't care what your pay stub says. I don't care any of that. It's the same. It's a combative engagement with firearms is the same. Whether you're a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, air marshal, private citizen, it's the same thing.
It's fight.
So
fighting's
fighting. And so you learn there are things that work and there's a reason why. And so I got a really good understanding of the federal system, which was interesting to say the least. And then the Air Marshal program, the surgical nature of it was a very specialized organization because it was fighting inside of aircraft. And I got to take the application of an assault force taking an aircraft back to just you and I, just two air marshals on an aircraft. How do we protect that aircraft, and how do we fight as a team in a tube? Yeah. So
in the air.
There's no cavalry, there's no backup, there's no place to go. You're going to get it on. Like
It's all the way. Yeah.
Exactly. If it goes down, it's like, okay, this is what's going on right here, right now. There's no place to go. And it was sobering for some of the people because I would tell them, if this happens, there is no cavalry coming for you. You're your own cavalry, man. Yeah. You're like, you figure it out because you two are the only ones here. And the fight is yours, and it's yours until the end. Win or lose, it's yours till the end. So get that in your mind right away. Like there's no heroics, no fancy music in the background.
No,
it's just you and another dude.
That door.
Yeah, and it's all going to end right here somehow. So get your mind ready for that. And that's as close to the mindset crap, because I'm not a pep rally dude.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, dude. Yeah. Like this is what's going to go down. So you
got it or not. You either got the cheese or not. Yeah, man. So I know once you close that door on that tube till you land,
it's just you, man. Junior partner, and that's it. And so there's got to be a confidence and a reliance on each other and an understanding that it's different in that very specific law enforcement realm.
I think that like the protector mindset, because I kind of roll that way. That protector mindset, I think people need to kind of look at it more like that. I mean, personal protection is your responsibility, and maybe if you're getting jumped, maybe if somebody's trying to rob you outside of 7-Eleven, maybe someone will help you. But the reality is, exactly.
If the cavalry comes, great, but I'm not expecting it. I'm not waiting on it.
I hold my breath,
It's there were a couple things that I saw too in the Air Marshal program, and a couple people. I actually got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
I was in Artesia actually, and had this one marshal go through and throw a shot on an aircraft, and it goes through and hits another target. We had targets spaced out, so if you shot the right target, you didn't shoot anybody else.
Okay.
But if you came off it, you'd shoot a non-hostile. And so he shot through, and he's like, I said, well, so where'd that round go? He's like, I don't know, it was a miss. Like, I know where it went. I walked over and pointed to a target, and it was like a grandmother. The picture was actually like a grandmother. And I was like, and I made up a story. I was like, oh, that's Mrs. Wilson. She's coming back from she's just coming back from chemotherapy. She was going to visit her granddaughter for the last time.
Scorching.
Oh yeah, it's like she's got bone cancer and she's got some chemotherapy. She's got about 2 months to live. She was going to visit her granddaughter probably for the last time, but he took care of that. Dude was like, what? Like, dude, when you fire that shot, if it doesn't go where it's supposed to go, it's going where it's not supposed to go.
Which is changing reality.
It's like, she was a collaborator. Like, dude, don't make a joke about this stuff.
No, man.
Like, and so I kind of leaned into dude a little bit, because where I came from in the Army, like, you make a joke about stuff like that,
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're in the wrong place.
You're not what we're looking for at all. Yeah. Like, your equipment turn in will be at 1 o'clock. Like,
you're right. Like, no way. Man, because it's just too heavy. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then when you went overseas contracting, are there any big takeaways from that? I know that's a big.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Freaking.
And while we're breaking this.
Oh my God, I could tell you stories for hours about that. But when I was the first project manager hired by Triple Canopy. So I helped the first guys that we launched out starting in December of 2003 is when I picked up with them.
Yeah.
First guys we launched out, I actually ordered the equipment and I rolled with them. We got in country. And
within one of the first project managers for Triple Canopy.
I was the first one.
The
first project manager hired. Yeah.
Golly.
So this is freaking OG actually.
Yeah, bro. Some salt on that.
Hell yeah. So we launched out of there, and we got in country, and it's like, dude, it was at the infancy of everything. So we had like crap vehicles, we had captured weapons, we had to make.
It's like building a whole program. Like it's almost like you got sent to another country, like almost doing some Green Berets.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, what do you got? Like, what can we get? What can we do? What do we need? We started foraging. We started, finding things and people that we knew that could get us equipment and stuff that I don't want to incriminate myself on.
Yeah.
we did some gangster shit too. We had to. We had no support. They didn't know how to support us. The State Department who we were working for, they had no idea how to support us. So it's like, we gotta figure this out.
Like a little gang almost.
Dude, it was crazy. But like when I got there, I stood at the Crete field station. So I got there. They gave me a yellow dude, and if he's listening, he knows who he is. Dude, Sharky. Yeah. Sharky was a SEAL. He was with me. He and I had a yellow Post-it with a 10-digit grid on it and a phone number. It said Mr. Silverman. What? And that's all. I still have it at my house, actually. That was it. They go, hand it to me and go to Crete, set up your field station. That was it. I got in a freaking a BMW that they had. And two dudes in a soft skin vehicle jumped on the road and freaking went 100 miles an hour to Crete from Baghdad.
Wow.
And so, we got there and I walked in. I'm like, I'm looking for Mr. Silverman. And he goes, I'm Mr. Silverman. Who are you? And I was like, I'm your new head of security. And he was like, what? Yeah, I'm the new head of security. He goes, so you're going to be running the Nepalese? They had a Nepalese contingent. And I'm like, no, actually, we're replacing them. It's going to be all Americans. He goes, so are you DOS? Are you Department of State? I'm like, no, sir, I'm a contractor for Triple Canopy. We're contracted by DOS. And he goes, what's your background? And I said, well, it's in special operations. I was a Marine first, and I was in special operations. And he goes, so you like a Green Beret or something like that? And I was like, well, yes, sir, I was in special forces. He goes, I can't stand Green Berets. Turned his back and walked off.
Yeah, I and you're like,
welcome aboard.
Good start. Yeah,
I was like, I had that. That's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
And then he wound up getting rotated out. A guy that we had, another guy who protected Kennan, Mark Kennan, who's a great dude. He was an awesome dude. I had that, and then we're getting ready to roll out with Mr. Kennan to Bakaba, and to Balat. I'm sorry, to Balat. And I walked into the unit that was supporting us.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I'm like, hey, this is who I am, this is where I'm from, show my creds and all. He's like, okay, what do you want? Like, kind of edgy. And like, well, sir, he was a lieutenant colonel. So, well, sir, you guys are in support of us, and if we need a QRF, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, man, I'm just gonna be honest with you. As far as I'm concerned, you and your boys are nothing but a bunch of overpaid hookers with guns.
Whoa,
and so unless you got somebody really important with you, he goes, unless you got somebody really important with you, we're not coming out. I was like, wow. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening. Like, I was like, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I had that. That was my QRF. That was my QRF.
Because just no one had a concept of what you guys were trying to do.
They didn't like it. They didn't like us because they resented what we made. They knew what we made and they resented it. And I was like, I remember thinking, like, one of my buddies actually at the unit, I saw him in the chow hall, the guy from squad. He's like, I told him the story. He's like, dude, they resent your paycheck, but they don't realize you're rolling the roads in soft skin vehicles with captured weapons, with shitty radios and no QRF. Like, they're not doing that, so they don't understand it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I got from doing PSD over there, especially when the insurgency kicked off in 2004 and all that, is you had to be cunning. Like, we didn't have any ass to us. We had a bunch of dudes with rifles in soft skin vehicles. We had one hard car for our principal, but you had to be smart. You had to know your routes. You had to know alternate routes. All the stuff that you're supposed to know, you have to know. You have to know. And it's like, I learned, like, mistakes get expensive, and I saw other details make mistakes and get freaking brassed up, dude.
Yeah.
See vehicles all shot up, burning on the side of the road as you drive by them.
Yeah.
You're like, I mean, we rolled by coming out of Tikrit one time. We were heading south. We rolled by a vehicle all freaking brassed up, all shot up, and just blood stains in the street. We're like, man, this went out hard. Like,
this was bad.
Yeah, because I remember looking at that, and that's what I was thinking. I told the dudes I was with. I was in the follow. I was like, damn, man, you see that? And he's like, yeah. I said, dudes went out hard because there were blood stains on the ground. And I was like, somebody made a mistake, man. Mistakes are costly. So you learn, like, there's no margin for error.
Nope.
There's like, everything has to be exactly a certain way. You got to know everything. Everybody's got to be read in. The plan's got to be solid. It's got to be tight.
Yep.
Like, because I don't have a safety net. I don't have a QRF. I can't just get on the phone and get gunships in.
And be like, help.
Yeah. It's not like they might come because they see smoke in the distance and that's your burning vehicles. So you got to be freaking smart, man. You got to have your game tight. And so I learned a lot from that. Those were some big takeaways. People not wanting to support you because they resent you.
Yeah.
And then watching people make mistakes and seeing how costly they were. Every little mistake is costly. I had one of the guys we protected. We got hit on the way into Crete, and so there's a little bit of shindig going on there. A little business going on. A little loudness.
Mix up.
Yeah, a little bit of loudness. We got him in there, and I rolled in. Once we got through the chicanes and everything, everybody's good. Vehicles are good. We get him in. I went to the principal. It was one of the staff guys we were rolling with for the meeting, and I said, "Hey, boss, this is what happened." I told him, and I went to the supporting unit, told me, "Yeah, you're gonna find some folks over here and sleeping on the side of the road and all that." And
right.
So when I went back in, the guy, his name was Buzz. We told Buzz, and it's like he asked the principal asked him like, "So you had a pretty exciting ride?" It's like, "Oh, it was pretty quiet." He had no idea.
Okay.
He was in a limo. He's in a hard car.
Oh,
so he
didn't know. He just was like
he's like, "What's
sitting
up?"
there. Had probably a CD player at the time.
Yeah, jamming out like whatever. We got back, and he sat down. He told me, he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well,
dude,
Mike told me what happened." He's like, "What do you mean?" I explained, like, "Well, did you know that this was going on?" And he was like, "I had no idea." He was stunned.
Yeah.
And then he was visibly terrified. He sat down. He turned
my life,
ghost ass white. Yeah. Like I didn't even know I was like in it, and I was in it.
Yeah.
In our AIC.
That's so good.
Greg was at my AIC. He's another B squad guy with me. Greg was like cool as a cucumber. He's like, we told him because the call sign was Jackrabbit. I was like, Jackrabbit. It's like, we're hauling ass now as fast as you can get through the chicane. You're trying to break contact. And he was just cool as can be, hanging out, doing his, just watching, like doing his thing. Like no need to spin old boy up. Yeah. But it's like he had no idea what was going on. And then when we finally told him, he was visibly shaken by it.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, dude, you were behind armor, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Good thing we didn't tell you what was going down.
Like so it was some of those things you see. And the point of that is that he was emotionally unprepared for that. Emotionally. I mean, got rocketed in the hour sheet. Uh-huh. And I mean, watching people completely freaking panic.
Yeah.
When like, oh, well, why are they trying to do this? We're trying to help them. Like,
why isn't even?
Yeah, we're not. It's like
doesn't matter right now.
Yeah, we don't have to entertain that. They rocketed us. Like we don't have a force field around us. Yeah. Like they can shoot rockets from across the street, and like they just did.
Yeah.
Like it was. There was a lot of stuff like that. I saw people that were unprepared for it emotionally.
Yeah.
And then I saw like now where she got rocketed, went downstairs, and there's some guy who's freaking out, chain smoking cigarettes. You can see he was shaking like a freaking leaf. Mm-hmm. And there was some. I think she was Serbian, the Serbian chick. She had obviously run downstairs, had like a pair of boxer shorts on and a tank top. Uh-huh. And she's hanging out laughing, talking to one of her friends. Yeah. Like she got it.
Psychologically.
She's like, okay, we got rocketed. Okay. I'm good. I'm in my underwear, but I'm good.
Yeah. Can I get a smoke or what?
Yeah, like exactly.
Like when we
bum cigarette, hang out.
One of those from you. Yeah. Jeez, man.
So it's like that. You see people that are unprepared and you see how their performance is freaking terrible.
Yeah.
You gotta guide them.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the women I was protecting came out of when we got hit. I came out of my room. She was right next to us. And my protectee was right there, her and another woman. So they came out in the hall, and I actually have the write up from it. It's kind of funny, but I came out in the hall and grabbed her, and she was trying to put one of those evacuate masks on, and she was freaked out. See, in the front, there's a canister that you breathe through.
Okay.
So she's like grabs it, she breaks the canister off and puts this like clear bag over her head.
Like it's gonna save her.
Like, just watching panic. I was like, damn, man. So we had that. We had this guy he was like an admin guy, some lieutenant colonel or something, standing in the middle of the hallway, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Everybody remain calm!"
And he's the only one freaking out.
I saw a lot of stuff that was like all the reasons why you don't do certain things.
Yeah, you got to see.
I got to watch those. That's why you don't panic.
Yeah.
Plus, you look stupid as hell.
Yeah, and it's what's going to be written about you. What do you think? I mean. Because, for civilians, too, like, if you have no opportunity to inoculate yourself against these types of stresses, you know what I mean? Like, but then in the same thought, I think about, like, the first times I was going into trash, and I never had any of those specific types of reactions, What do you think it takes to help someone inoculate themselves?
It's mental. It is mental. Mm-hmm. You prepare yourself for it mentally by thinking about it. You're rehearsing it in your mind. It's like if you don't think about like that extreme, go to that scary place in your mind. Go, can I do this?
And like live there.
Like I had a guy ask me when I was in OTC. A guy asked me at the unit when I was going through training.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, this happens, dude. Like bum rushes one of your boys, tackling, rolling around. They're really close together fighting. What are you gonna do? I'm like, grab a gun, grab my rifle, run up to him, and freaking get it done. He goes, what are you gonna tell him? what are you going to tell your partner? I'm like, you tell him to turn your face away.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he's like, and I remember him saying, Bob Curley, he goes, you thought about this before, haven't you? I'm like, yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't want anything to be a damn surprise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think I think that is it. I think because for me, man, I remember with my Marines, I would be telling them, yo, before this happens, think about what you're going to do in your head. Think about what you're going to do in your head. And I remember one of them was like, after we got done doing some trash, was like, hey, like Triple, I thought about what I was going to do in my head. And I did exactly what I thought I was going to do without even thinking. And I remember being like that. There's so much to be said for that. Because when you see stuff happen to people who aren't in that world, there's this whole why me? What's happening? I can't believe this is happening. Dude, this is so terrible. They're thumbing through these things.
Yeah, and all the shit that doesn't matter. Yeah, right now. People
who are like us, we're already gone. We're doing whatever we're going to do at this point. Or the enemy is still gaining ground on them while they're like,
you don't have time for that. You don't have time to lament stuff. Business got to get done. Like, we got stuff to do.
Right.
Like, we're on the clock now.
Yeah.
So we got to get it done. And that comes with the mindset. You're like, I tell people, like, you've got to make decisions before they're forced upon you.
Exactly.
You've got to be like, I'm willing to do this. What are you willing to do? Okay. And on the
know what you can do versus what you're willing to do.
Once I go, I'm willing to do this. Now, am I capable?
Yeah.
Do my capabilities match up with my willingness?
Yeah.
Because if I don't, if the capabilities, I can be willing to do all kinds of stuff.
Right.
But if my capabilities don't match what my willingness is, I can't do it. And so
I'm impotent.
Yeah, exactly. I have nothing.
Yeah.
And so tell people, identify what you want to be able to do.
Right.
And then once you identify the skills required and go, do I have that? Do I have the capacity and the capability physically and emotionally? And then go from there.
That's huge.
But I mean, it's the mindset. If you don't practice or if you don't rehearse in your mind for significant events, whatever they might be, you will do the wrong thing and you will fall apart. Panic, to me, from my experience, panic is either the absence of a solution or the recognition that the solution that you need, you can't provide.
It's beyond you.
Yeah, I don't have it.
And then you start to panic. Yeah.
I was picking up.
That's true, man.
I was at a pet store picking up freaking cat litter, right? And so I'm walking in, there's two dogs and a woman with a little boy. He's probably 6 years old, 7 years old.
Yeah.
And the dogs start barking and rattling at each other. And all of a sudden, boom, they go at each other. The boy's in between them, gets his calf almost ripped off. One of the dogs bites him, trying to bite the other dog.
Yeah.
So his calf is laying open. Little boy screaming, mom's screaming. I'm like, I look over and I'm like, what the hell? The dog's now broken up. She's just sitting on the sidewalk shrieking.
Not knowing
what to do. I'm like, I walk over, I'm like, listen, we need to move. I'm like, she's like, it hurts. I'm like, of course it hurts. She's like, the ground, it's burning. I'm like, what? And then she's sitting on black pavement in Tucson in the summer. It's burning.
You're making hamburgers right now.
Like, get up and move. But I'm like, listen, we need to move him. She's like, it's burning. She kept she was frozen. So I grabbed the kid, I picked him up without disturbing his legs as much as I could. I got him in the shade, and she's just shrieking, literally shrieking. And I'm like, stop. I go, what's your name? Hi. And I start talking. I'm like, oh, my name's Mike. Yeah. How are you doing? What's your name? And he's like, my leg hurts. I'm like, don't look at your leg. I'm just talking to him, getting his mind off it. I said, listen, we're going to call them. The firemen are going to come, and they're going to bring some paramedics. And, they're going to take care of you. And just talking to him, getting his mind off. It's like, hey, they always bring lollipops and stuff and cool stuff. And like, she's still over there shrieking. Like,
making it worse.
Yeah,
actively making it worse.
Yeah. And then it's like, there's a dude standing there. I'm like, did the whole like straight out of the EMS book. I'm like, you come here.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, you're supposed to at someone. Yeah.
So I go, get on your phone, dial 911, and say exactly what I say and nothing else. Yeah. He's like, okay, now what's your emergency? I'm like, yeah, we have an injury caused by a dog bite. We're at such and such. And she asked back, she goes, how bad is the injury? And I go, there's a large tear in his calf. Before I could say there was a large tear in his calf, he goes, he's all fucked up. Like, no. He was right in front of the camera. I'm like, really? I still go like, come on. Like, really? Come on, man. Jeez. It's like, people have no idea how to function because they've never said, like we've had the misfortune of being around broken people.
The fortune of being around.
Yeah, exactly. But we're fortunate because when bad stuff happens, we can fix it. Like we
on the spectrum of experience, it's like, yo, we ain't putting a tourniquet. And even if we are putting a tourniquet, I know how to do that.
Exactly.
Like, we're not taking fire in, putting a tourniquet on.
Hey, you're shooting at me, I'm putting a tourniquet on. Good. But it's like, I see people that don't, a lot of times I see people that don't want to prepare
Yeah.
Because they don't want to think about it.
There you go. Yeah, man. Because well, even with the stuff I do on YouTube, I'm sitting there blasting videos out, and I'm always like, have a plan. And then people are like, well, I'm not going to walk around paranoid all the time, worrying about people who jump out of the closet. I'm like, bro, it's not about that. It's about, because I have more peace of mind the second I'm prepared. You know, I walk into a place, I got me a good piece of real estate. I got mastery of the room. I can see stuff. And then it's like, now I can really relax and have a good time because I
know what's going on. I walk in and I evaluate it.
Yeah.
I see the table of all dudes drinking up hard. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
I see the family over here. Like, I'm evaluating here.
Yeah.
It's having a plan. It's not paranoid. I call it professional vigilance.
There you go.
Like when you're
better sound.
Yeah, when you're running a detail. I'm not paranoid.
Nah.
I'm professionally vigilant.
Exactly.
I have to be responsible for my principal. I have to look around and see everything. I can't miss anything because I'm being paid not to miss anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
and then you dial that back to the family, man. It's like, I'll be danged if something happens to my wife, my kids.
Oh, yeah, I'm on detail, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're on family, you're on detail. You are on detail. It's like, everything that you tell me, is it any different when you're on
It really isn't.
No.
It really isn't. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, people pay me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to do it for myself because I love these people. You know what I mean? And even honestly, me and you go out for a drink and we're in a place.
Yeah.
You better believe.
It's on.
We're in that place. It's a safer place. You know what I mean?
It's a much better place.
And that's what this brand's about, man. That right there, protectors.
There's no downside to being prepared and being aware. There's none. Zero.
Yeah.
So stop it right there. Oh, you're paranoid. No, I'm not.
No.
Nothing sneaks up on me, though. And I'm safer because of it, and everyone around me is safer because of it.
Exactly. And I think if someone has a response to that, that's like oh, you're paranoid. I think what's happening is you're seeing the world as you are, not as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe if they're the type of person to be, if those types of thoughts cause them to be fearful, which means they'd be paranoid if they felt like that, then I think there's something that they need to work through so they can become a more efficient or effective protector.
Agreed. They're unprepared, and you being vigilant reminds them that they're unprepared.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just exactly.
Like,
it's a mirror. It's a mirror.
Like they look at it and go, he's really prepared, which reminds me that I'm really unprepared.
Yeah.
And so now I have to somehow degrade his behavior because I don't have it.
Yeah. And if I was going to do that, like it inspires fear in me. Really.
Yeah. Dude, think about going and working out. Yep. You just be like, oh, if I was at the gym all the time, I'd look like that too. Well, you could be at the gym all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what's stopping you? Somebody had a gun to your head? You know what I mean? Like, figure it out.
It's the same thing. It's projection.
Exactly. And then, so I think you hear someone say that, it's a target indicator to me. I'm like,
totally.
Okay, you need to work through everything stopping you from being able to sit there, and I'm not sitting there sweating bullets. I'm having a good time. No one knows. The other guys in the room might notice. Yeah.
I know what's going on.
Yeah,
and it's always important to be aware. I used to teach women's classes with a woman, Mia Wood, who's great woman. She had these all women's classes, and I would teach with her. Yeah, and we would get during lunch. We would both go through a couple different blocks of instruction about the self-defense side. Okay. And one of them, and I would tell the women, like if you're walking around a supermarket, and all of a sudden, like you should be aware because like a dude will show up and you're in the frozen food aisle, and then the dude shows up and you're getting toilet paper, and then the dude shows up and you're getting coffee. Whoa, time out! You are not on the same shopping trip with me. At that point, I tell them the awareness is what makes you safe. Yep. Just look at him and be like, what? Yeah. What? So now you're taking away his anonymity, and you're letting him know that he's doing something odd, and you recognize it. Right. So now his whole targeting matrix just got thrown out. Yeah. Like she knows who I am. She knows that I'm doing something odd. Yeah. She's already identified me. So do I continue on with the potential attack, or do I go look for somebody else that's unaware? And overwhelmingly, they'll look for someone that's unaware. And it's vigilance keeps you from having to do anything else. You don't have to freak guns, knives, pepper spray, freaking Jeet Kune Do. You can just look at it and be like, what? Yeah. And usually someone hunting that type of prey is a coward. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're just by nature a coward. It's not like somebody like storming into the store to fight me. This is someone hunting women. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it is. And we would tell them, me and I both told them in class, like, just confront it right there where it's safe. It's and where you have the high ground. Exactly. You're in a public structure. There's people around. That person is not going to pursue that because they've already been compromised. Yeah, absolutely. And now so like you might as well just address it right there. Don't address it in the parking lot. Don't wait, feel uncomfortable, and then try to deal with it in the parking lot. Because now you got more into his court. You're more into his area. So it's the awareness and vigilance keep you far safer than an implement, than a firearm or a knife or pepper spray. Yeah. That's a last resort. That's like my awareness of my vigilance was for shit, and now I got to fight my way out of it. Yeah. That's what that is.
Absolutely.
If you're aware, you don't need that stuff.
Absolutely, 100%. No, that's huge, which goes right into our next deal. EDC mindset. If you were going to break down kind of like what you do, how you do, why you do, I mean,
EDC. I every place that I can possibly carry a firearm, I carry a firearm. And it's because a gun's like a parachute. When you need it, it's exactly what you need, and nothing else will do.
And nothing else will do.
So it's like I always have a gun on me, and I look at it as a way in extremis to safeguard myself and potentially someone else. I'm not going to stand there and watch a guy beat his girlfriend with a tire iron in a parking lot of Walmart. If I can stop that, that is a fellow citizen of my country being attacked, potentially, death or grievous bodily injury. I'm like, I don't want to be in a position where I have to watch something happen that I should not tolerate in my society. Yeah. I have a responsibility as a upstanding citizen in this country. Everybody's taxpayers' dollars paid for me to become technically the guy that I am. Wow. And so I still have an obligation. I don't look at it as like, okay, I'm retired now, I'm out. Peace out, I'm good. Drop the mic, out. Yeah. No, I'm still a citizen of this country that has been afforded the benefits of your tax dollars to refine a skill. And it's still there. For me to stand there and watch bad things happen would be delinquent on my part.
Right.
Also, I don't want to get freaking shot or killed or stabbed or any other crap like that. Like, that trash, I'm out. I'm waving off that. So I always carry a gun. Now, I don't always carry the same gun, but whatever I carry, I rehearse with before I leave. Uh-huh. Okay? And so my EDC is going to change with my clothing. If I've got a suit on, I'm going to have something behind the hip because the front's going to be open. Yeah. Okay. If I'm rolling around with just shorts and a t-shirt in town in the summertime in Arizona, I'll run appendix. I run appendix a lot because it's really fast. You can fight from the ground with it because it's in front of you. If you do BJJ or do jiu-jitsu or ground fighting guy, your gun's in front of you. So if someone wants your gun, they have to face you to take it. Right. If they reach from behind you to grab it, then they gave you an arm. That's a gimmick. Yeah. So it's like it's a pretty good position to fight from if your body type will accept it. Yeah. On the EDC side, depending on where you go, I mean, like some people say, well, I always carry a spare magazine. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. But one, my pistols are in a level of repair and serviceability that I'm not worried about that. I so rarely have any type of magazine malfunction of any sort. I mean, I can't remember the last time, and I shoot quite a bit. Yeah, right. The last time I had my gun malfunction because of a magazine. Okay. And I mean, I run like either a P07 like CZ because I shoot for CZ. I run either a P07, a P10C, or a P10S, the subcompact. Those guns, I shoot them until I'm embarrassed. They're so dirty, and then I'll clean them. But they don't stop running.
No, they don't. No,
so it's like I'm not that worried about it. If I feel like I need an extra magazine, then I got concerns about my equipment. Okay. So I don't necessarily do that. I always carry at a minimum a small folding knife. Uh-huh. And I carry a flashlight, a small flashlight, like a Surefire. I've got a little Surefire Executive, the little single 123 battery. Yep. It's so bright, 300 lumens or something, great little light. You can use that as an impact device. You can break windows, you can break bones in people's hands, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. So I've got a minimum basic load kind of thing for EDC. Carry a pistol, carry a small folding knife, carry a flashlight. And I'm usually good. I got med gear in my vehicle. Yeah. So I've always got like higher end because I did a bunch of higher end stuff in JSOC medical wise. So I've got stuff that up to my level of training that I can actually apply effectively to save somebody's life. But the big thing that for me on the EDC side is whatever you have, practice with it. And before you leave, take a minute and just draw from concealment. Just draw your gun. Make sure your gun's clean. Don't shoot holes in your refrigerator. Right.
But be the one.
Yeah. Draw that gun and make sure that the clothing, the garment, and the gun and the holster and the belt and all that, they all match up properly. Yeah. You're not catching stuff and
grabbing your holster. Right?
Grab your holster, going inside of a jacket and put your hand in a pocket. Yeah. And then when we were in Bosnia Protection General, they sent us a bunch of these badass North Face jackets. Yeah. They're awesome. They're really, really nice Gore-Tex. I was there. My rotation was there in the winters. Freaking ass ripping cold. And it would warm up a little bit. It would rain. It'd be like 38 degrees and raining. So it was miserable. So I got this North Face jacket, which was freaking awesome, dude. I was like, hell yeah, I got a North Face jacket. Put it on. We're getting ready to go out, grab the man, and get on a helicopter, fly up to Tuzla. And I clear my gun, do my dry draws, First time I go to draw, stick my hand in an internal pocket.
Yeah. I'm like, and you're like, nah.
That's not going to work. So I had the most badass $400 North Face jacket you ever had to go to the gym with.
Yeah.
I couldn't use it. Like, you got to do that stuff.
Either that or the pocket's got to go or something.
Like try to tape them over. And all that. I didn't have time. I just threw my leather jacket on.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I took freaking rigger's tape, just taped the pocket over. Like, hey man. But it's like little stuff like that. Make sure the gun fits with the garment. Also, if you shoot a bunch of different guns, I shoot different pistols at different locations because of the client. Whatever my client shoots, I make it a point to shoot something comparable or the same gun.
Okay.
Right. So like if I got the FBI comes out, I'll shoot a Glock. I shoot for CZ, but the client comes out and they shoot Glock 19s. I'll shoot, except the FBI, I'll shoot Glock 19.
Okay.
Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So just like I would practice for that, each time I change a gun around, the whole concept behind it is you have a mental program for every gun in every location that you're genuinely familiar with. Okay. So the first time you touch it, you recognize it's this gun, it's in this location. You start running that program.
Yeah.
So you're booting up that 1 minute drawn from concealment, you're booting up that program. So you can change, I can change guns.
Deep. It's so deep.
Right. With some knowledge on it. Boom. So I run that program. I know an appendix. I reach down. Think about it. If you reach down and grab your gun, as soon as you touch that pistol,
your brain fires.
Yeah, your brain goes, I recognize I'm carrying a Caesar, I'm carrying a Glock, or whatever it is, M&P, or you recognize it, you see a picture of it, that tactile index, you touch it.
Yeah.
That feeling goes, one, it goes, I've got the proper grip, and two, it's I got my P10.
Yep.
Okay. Once I do that a couple times, I'm booting up that program. Once that program is running, that's the current program. So if I put my gun back in the holster, load up, put it in the holster, and I go to freaking Walmart and I got to draw my gun, or I go now that program that is still running is my P10 in appendix with this T-shirt on.
Yeah, you don't have to boot it up while you're in the middle of something moving and doing traffic.
Exactly. That's why
moving people and crap.
And that's why you get guys that when guys who come to the range and shoot their duty rig. Yeah. When I'm working with the LE guys.
Okay.
Like they'll get done with their duty rig and they'll get ready to leave. I'm like, oh, everybody, how you rolling out of here? Put your trash on. Yeah. Come on the line, clear your guns. On everybody for a minute. I want you to drop from concealment for a minute. Yeah. Because if not, they're gonna draw. They're gonna need their gun and they're gonna go to their duty rig and it ain't there. Yeah. Because the old program is still running. The duty rig program is still running.
And duress.
Yep.
You revert back.
So it's like there's some mental programming stuff that you can do, and it's little stuff like that makes all the difference. And understanding why it works. Yep. Like, I can't change positions with my gun. Yes, you can. I do it all the damn time. I'm not like Stephen Hawking or anything. I'm a regular dude, but I know how it works. Yeah. And I practice from a couple different locations, but I practice a lot from both of those, and I can boot that program up in a minute, and it works. Man. And so it's like, it's one of those things that when you understand from EDC, it's hugely important, because if you need your pistol as an EDC, as a civilian carrying it, if you need your pistol, you needed your pistol about a second and a half ago.
Yeah, you did. You did.
So it's like, there's no time now. Like we have already run out of time. We're trying to play catch up.
We're praying to baby Jesus.
Exactly. Like, oh, we had some more time.
Yeah, man.
So
that's such a good concept, man. And so boot that program up, get that disc spinning before you even leave the house. Yeah. And familiarize yourself with your gear.
Always gotta be super familiar with it. I hear people all the time too. The whole I just posted a thing. I was carrying a Keltec PMR 30.
Yeah, I saw that with the Alti clip on there.
Yeah, the Alti clip that me actually came up with it. But she was the one who designed it. But I'm wearing that. I put that on because it's my like backpack and my gym gun, because it's really, really light.
No, I got my gym gun too.
So it's like, I'm cool with it.
PPS 9.
And it's 31 rounds, man. Like you're like, oh, it's 22 Magnum. It's 31 rounds of 22 Magnum, bro.
Everybody's getting shot. You getting shot. You getting shot.
Like Oprah. Yeah. It's a fusillade.
Yeah, man.
So I was leaving with that. I'm like, it's really light. It weighs, like, that gun with 31 rounds in it weighs less than a Glock 19 slide.
What?
Oh, it's super light. So I put on, it's kind of big, but it's easy to carry. And it's like, but I'm carrying the same spot. And all I did was rehearse with it for a minute. I'm like, because I like carrying different ways and different types of clothing, because it helps me refine how to explain it and say, well, I carried one of those and I carried it like this, or
and understanding it. It's like dating your guns, really.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's exactly what it is. People are like, well, why don't you carry this, or why don't you carry that? Dude, I got a freaking gun. Bro, that's 99% of the battle.
Exactly. Knowing how to use it.
Yeah,
I got a gun. I'm in the fight.
Yeah, I already know how to shoot, so I got that. That's done. Now, if I don't have a gun, it doesn't matter how well I know how to shoot. I don't have a gun.
Yeah.
So, like, I would rather you have a freaking 25 auto in your pocket than nothing. Yeah, it's 25, but it's only a 25 you get shot with it.
Unless you're not throwing. Yeah, it's better than throwing rocks.
Yeah, so it's like I hear that the EDC purists, I carry this and I carry that and I carry, you know, it's there are things technologically that are changing. They are changing the whole. My whole methodology for EDC. One of them is red dots on pistols.
Yeah, man.
Okay, because guess what? When I was out with Orange County with Gabe's guys, we were doing those brothers were shooting headshots at 15 in the not the dark, but basically low light street ambient light. These dudes from OC SWAT were crushing some damn headshots at 15 yards with red dots.
With them dots, man.
Yep, and no flashlights. Flashlight. And they could identify. We had markings on targets so you could see shoot and no shoot and all that.
Really?
They just turn around, pick it out, boom. It allows you to engage with when you have enough light to see. A lot of times you don't have enough light to see your sights, even with tritium. They're difficult.
When you have enough light to see, you need a little bit more light to see your sights.
And it changes your focal length. When I change my focal length to if I got I've got a bright set of tritium sights on one of my seasons.
Heck yeah.
I got a real bright set. So when I change my focal length, my eye adjusts the amount of light that's coming out of those tritiums. They're actually like really bright ones. Mm-hmm. Now my eye adjusts to that level of brightness and I lose what's behind it. It becomes harder to see because my vision is adjusting to my sights. And the same thing,
you need that focus in order to be accurate.
To see it. And so what you have, that's like with a red dot on a pistol, if you turn it up too bright, you can drive that gun up and the person behind it will disappear. The target behind it will disappear because your eye is adjusting to that dot. It needs to be much, much lower than people think.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of red dot stuff, but it is a great, I fought it. I mean, I fought going to it because I shot iron sights and I was worried about the durability and a lot of guys that I know that they're good, you know, that are legitimately good, good instructors and good shooters are shooting. I know Johnny's one of them. Johnny's getting on red dots now. Buddy of mine, Steve Fisher, is getting on them. Billy Blowers is getting on them. Like guys that are in the industry shooting, they pushed into it sooner than I did. But it's once you get on that train, the learning curve it's kind of steep at the beginning. But once you're on it, I've got 15,000 rounds now on my P10F and my C with a red dot. Dude, you can do stuff with that gun
now that you couldn't do
before. Yeah. And back to the EDC thing. Now I have a handle. I have an admin flashlight that I can use. I could use it to shoot with if I had to, but I have a red dot now. And as a private citizen now, I'm not in the capacity of a professional or an unprofessional.
Right.
I'm not going to engage in basically blackout conditions. Neither is anybody else really. There's always enough ambient light. There's street lights. So if you're at a venue, if you're doing protection and you're armed as a form of protection agent, you're not going to be in pitch black. And if there's enough light for you to see that guy has a implement that can hurt your principal, there's enough light for you to shoot red dot.
Well, and you should have an admin light as well.
You should always have an admin light. Even if you have a gun light, bro. Yeah. 2 is 1.
One is none.
Yeah,
no, I got both my joints. But I couldn't agree more, man, because that learning curve with the dot, I put the weapon up and I was like, ooh, where is it? Ooh, where is it? And then a few months went by, and then once I found the dot, like I'm running around here, and it's just now
you get busy. You get freaking busy.
And now, man, and I'm sitting here just like reaching out to 25, like it ain't no thing,
like nothing.
Yeah, running around.
You can shoot stuff like I've got my two LE guns. I've got a P09 with a Delta Point Pro on it. Yeah. And I've got a P10F with Delta Point Pro on it. Those guns are dialed in. I mean, I got great zeros on them. Dude, I can shoot it standing. I can just sit up and shoot an 8-inch plate at 50 like it's nothing.
Man. Yeah.
And if I take my time, I hit a 6-inch plate. If I bench it, I can hit a 6-inch plate at 50 yards all day long. Jeez. I can shoot a freaking headshot with a pistol at 50 yards because the pistol will do it.
But
the sighting system wasn't enough. There wasn't enough good refinement. Okay, but with a red dot, I just put it out in the middle, pull the trigger, and all the quality modern handguns that you're getting out there. I've seen guys do it. When I was out there, there's a guy shooting he had what do you call it? He had a Gen 5 Glock with a dot on. He was doing it. Dude with one of the Walthers with a dot on, one of the Q5 matches. He's crushing. We were all shooting the same plate. Yeah, it's like, damn, man, these guns will do it all day long, as long as you've got a refinement in your sighting system. So now I've got precision at distance, and I've got a capability in low light that I didn't have before. Yeah. And the dots are a lot more durable, and they're getting better every day. Like that is the wave of the future, man.
It really is.
EC, you can carry your admin light. If you want to put an XC1 or XC2 or something with a Surefire, really subcompact lights on there, you can. Now you've got redundant systems. You've got an extra light. Yeah. But If you just have your admin light, your handheld light, and a pistol with a dot on it, as an EDC guy, you're perfectly fine.
You're living it.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt like I noticed that once I went from the red dot back to my iron sights, I felt like I was a better shooter. Like,
faster.
I don't know if, it was faster.
Visual process. You are forced to see more and see faster with the dot. That's why on the USPSA side, people say, like, shoot open division.
Yeah.
When open division, if you don't know, if you're listening to this, open division is everything's in play, like 26 round magazines and red dots and compensators and stuff.
Yeah.
But the gun doesn't move. It's just how fast can you process the information and press the trigger.
Yeah.
And it makes you move and run the gun faster. And everybody I know says if you shoot that division, you start processing visually faster.
Yeah.
When you go back to iron sights, you go back to any other division, you're just faster. And they were all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard everybody, JJ Rakaz, I've heard all these people that I know that say, dude, you get faster shooting open. Ben Steger, they all say it, and they're right. Like, these certain things make you faster.
One of my buddies, Charles Law, that I was shooting with last, he didn't say this. One of the other sages that he studies under says this, but he was like, see aggressively. And I realized that, like, for me, with my competitive shooting deal, I spent the first year and a half up until like 2 months ago being learning how to see and process aggressively. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I could shoot pretty much I can shoot a little better now. Yeah. I can shoot a little quicker now and stuff. But really what I was working on was processing the stages and processing the movements and seeing everything and processing that aggressively. And now I'm able to do that. I just noticeably got better over after almost 2 years of it. And I feel like that dot, man. Like, I saw a little quantum leap. Like, I was working like lockstep, getting a little bit, and then all of a sudden I started running the dot around. And I was like, this quantum leap. Like, man, I feel like I'm in the Matrix now. And then getting a little dry fire at the house. That's the ninja secret to really get good.
That's the true with red dots. You can get, because the shooting part, you get a lot of feedback off the dot. It tells you if you're holding,
you're scribbling around.
Oh yeah, it tells you if you can't hold the gun like a grown man, a grown woman. Like, it'll jump around. It's it tells you if you lean on that gun, you flinch, you got recoil anticipation.
Your brain recording every one of those reps. Man.
Yeah, so it's like it takes, for me. I have a slightly different grip with a red dot. I present a little differently. There's a bunch of things that I do that are slightly different from my iron sight shooting. But a red dot will tell you, if you don't hold on that gun like a grown-ass man, it'll tell you. Yeah. That dot will depart the area. Like, holy crap. And I can tell when I'm behind it, when I'm behind the gun like I'm supposed to be, that dot stays in the window. It just bounces around the window. Yeah. If I
can chase it and I can keep it in front of me and it's good.
If I come off of it, if my grip gets weaker, I sally out on it, dude, that dot takes off. And I'm fighting with the gun trying to get it back.
Yeah, looking for it.
It's a good learning tool. It's a good training tool. It's operationally, like, shooting wise, it is so far in excess of iron sights now. It's just now the last sticking point is always durability. Yeah. It's always durability and
batteries and battery life and maintenance and how you want to be responsible about that. Maybe some backup sights too is one.
Yeah, and that's why I got on my Delta Point Pro, my LE gun, I've got the backup sights that Loophole makes. Okay. And they work fine. And I got a tall front sight on it. So my iron sights are zeroed, and I can shoot at 25 yards, shoot a 6-inch plate at 25 yards with it, with iron sights, with my backup iron sight. So, like, it's legit. I've got thousands of rounds on it, and those sights haven't come loose or lost or zero.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. Are there any different pieces of gear that have failed you that you don't carry as a result? Like, anything that you're like, or good ideas that you've seen that's like,
Because I'm really picky before I ever carry anything. So, like, I can't, like, nothing leaves the house with me that I haven't already vetted, and it's got to be really obvious before I even check into it. Yeah. So I've been pretty fortunate. I've had some things fail and break that I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. Like, not on the pistol side, but like things that create failure points. Okay. One of them was the bad levers on ARs. That bolt release. Yeah. I understand what it's for. Mm-hmm. I also know that unless you genuinely practice with a lot, guys ride it and they release the bolt. They release the bolt before they put the magazine in, and I watch it all the time. And I'm like, it saves me. Yeah, you can drop the bag. It leads you to some mistakes that you don't need to make. Yeah, like you see it, you drop the bolt as you see the magazine. Now, since it's a full magazine and it's up against the bottom of the carrier, it's not properly seated. And so when you let go, the gun goes quick and the magazine falls out. So you're all assed up. I've had a lower that had an ambidextrous bolt release right next to it. It was a push button right next to the magazine release.
Yeah, man.
So it's like, it's too easy for
me close to my magazine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like little stuff. The good idea fairy showed up on that one.
Yeah.
It was like the good idea fairy desk sprinkling was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I can
the convenience for the liability.
I can run an AR left-handed because I shot a lot. When I first lost my eye, I shot a lot left-handed. I can run an AR left-handed stock, not a problem. Like I don't need all the ambi stuff.
All the ninja stuff.
Yeah, I don't need all that. It's just, I like the fact that I can pick up any AR and I can run it as it's stock. So a lot of that stuff, I understand the accessorizing of it, and that's fine. But like that one particular item, I put it on there, and I caught myself doing it a couple times. I'm like, you know what? I put my reloads back to back. The difference between a bad lever and not, I had a minuscule amount of time. It was maybe a 1/10 of a second faster.
Yeah.
The problem is when it wasn't a 1/10 of a second faster, it was 3.5 or 4 seconds slower. So it's like, I mean, it's like, it was 50-fold failure point.
Okay.
Like on the 1/10 of a second faster. Now every 50 reloads, it makes up for the one that I screw up. And I'm like, it was a piece of equipment. I understand it and I'm not faulting it. I mean, if guys like it, run with it, man.
Yeah.
You roll how you roll.
To that level,
For me, it was one of those things that I was like, it's too easy for it to become a failure point. So I stopped.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. So you're kind of like modular with your EDC. It's like you got your pocket items, your light, your GAT, maybe an extra mag, depending on what kind of party it is. And then your medical stuff's kind of in the Vic is how I roll. I have a backpack with like my.
I can in extremis. Some pressure bandages and stuff like that. Like I can make some stuff up on the fly. But yeah, the main stuff I keep tourniquets and all that stuff.
Okay, and then CCW. I know you do a lot of teaching about CCW. What would you say about kind of the mindset? Just CCW. If you're going to give like a quick CCW 101, what would you say?
As far as application technique, what
application?
Okay, I tell people one, don't leave the house with a gun that you haven't practiced with. Okay, and then let's back up one step before that. Don't put on a gun and practice with it unless you know you can use it for its intended application. Like, can you extinguish a human life that's threatening you with this handgun? If the answer is maybe, then the answer is no. If the answer is no, then the answer is no. It's yes or no.
The answer is I probably. Then the answer is no.
So like, you got to go that scary place in your mind and go, I can do this. And once you've done that, then don't go out of the house with a gun you haven't practiced with. Once you're past that gate, okay. Now, what I tell them in class is avoid, evade, and defend. Okay. Like, avoid bad places, bad people. Just don't go there. Just because I have a gun on me,
I'm walking in a black alleyway.
I mean, now there's a place downtown in Tucson that like gets a little Star Wars bar-ish. And I was leaving Tucson PD. We're doing some work with them. It's like 2 a.m. I'm dragging ass. I'm like, man, I'm gonna stop and grab a big cup of coffee with those little caffeine packets. You're only supposed to take one a day. I put like 5 in. So I'm like, I'm dragging ass. It's like 45 minutes. I lived all the way up by the mountains. And I start pulling. I saw all kinds of shady Star Wars bar characters, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't need
bad guys.
I don't need coffee that bad that I need to shoot my way out of there with it. Like, just because I should be able to go there.
I mean,
but I can't. I'm not going to do a lot of stuff. So don't go places that you shouldn't go because you have a gun. Don't go, well, I have a gun, I can go there. No, don't do that. So avoid those places. Avoid, bad situations or bad people. Like you look around, like that dude looks a little off. Like,
and trust your instinct.
Yeah, like some vagranty kind of street person. Just stay away from them. Instincts are huge. Vigilance. You know what right looks like. If you stop and go, what's up with that dude? There's a problem. You may not recognize what the problem is yet, but you're recognizing. I don't know why that looks wrong, but it's not right. And then immediately there's a book Gavin DeBeck wrote called The Gift of Fear, and it's about that. It's about intuition. You look, and there's a bunch of stories about. I think it's all women that were like abducted or stuff, and everyone's like, I knew something was wrong, but I disregarded it. You look up and like, dude looks wrong. Like there's something that's not right. I don't care what variation of wrong it is. It's wrong, and I'm watching.
And I'm going to the other side.
I'm gonna bounce out of there. I don't want any of that. I don't need it. That's not my job. So like avoid things or situations that look bad on their face or start to go bad. Evade. As soon as there's a problem, just break contact. You don't need to put the freaking boots to somebody if you don't have to. It's going to give you all kinds of legal and financial trouble that you don't need. Aside from however you are prepared for it emotionally. Some people are more emotionally prepared for it than others, but it's going to be a legal and financial financial issue, if you didn't break contact and you got to put the freaking boots to somebody, outside of Chili's because they're screaming and yelling and whatever, you don't want to have to do this, man. So evade, get away, just go away. There's no shame in it, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're wise.
Yeah. I don't want to have to burn somebody in front of my family.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
You just never know what's going to happen. You can be the most prepared cat in the world.
There's a lot of chance in there, bro.
You can still lose. Dice, and you can still straight lose. Yeah.
Yeah. There's an element of luck.
Dice. And then warrior.
More like you said, house wins.
Snake eyes. Yeah. And any good warrior knows that. You're not guaranteed a W, man.
No, absolutely. And then the last avoid, evade, and then defend. If I can't avoid that, if I didn't avoid a bad place and I can't evade that person, that incident, then I'm stuck. Then I have to defend. At that point, I've got to know what I'm doing.
Right.
I've retrograded. I've bounced back enough. I've got no place to go now. Now I have to fight you. If that's the case, I better be ready for that.
Yeah,
and that's where you train. That's not 50 rounds every 6 months, whether you need it or not.
Get them.
It's like, you're talking about something. You're talking about practicing to defend your life or the lives of those in your charge, those people that you are obligated to protect.
Yeah.
So, dude, be ready for it. It's not. You don't want to be going like, man, I wish I had actually practiced. Not I practiced more. I had actually practiced.
Yeah.
Greg took from stuff overseas, dude, from over in Iraq, man. There was never a time that something dicey went down that at the end of it, I was like, oh man, I had this.
No.
I was always like, damn, I should have done more of that.
Yeah, I was like, thank God.
Wow, I should have done more of that.
Thank God that went that way. Man.
Or like damn, I didn't see that coming.
Better. Yeah,
exactly. That threw me off.
Or just straight silence because you're thinking all this stuff. You're just both sitting there like, staring out into the.
Yeah, so you don't want to be that. So if you're going to take on the responsibility of being armed, then take on the responsibility of training for it. Yeah. So that's why avoid, evade, and defend. When you get to that last step, you got no place else to go. Right. You're your own cavalry riding to your rescue. So you better be ready for it, or it ain't gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. And 5-0's coming to pick up the pieces.
Exactly. You're a crime scene report.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're someone's creative writing while they want to get off of work. And hopefully not, but maybe.
That's cool, but it's true.
It has been. What would you say, weapon selection? How should someone approach? Because, we get the questions. You get the question. Yeah. This is a good place to just answer the question. How would you tell a civilian to approach selecting a weapon? Well,
first identify the requirement. What do I need it to do?
To be able to do it.
Yeah, like what do I need? Like, is it a concealment gun? Is it a sport gun? Is it both? Is it one gun that I can go to the range and shoot, and I can shoot a USPSA or IDPA match? Like, what do I want? Do I have a specific requirement? Do I have any specific abilities or disabilities that are going to require me to do certain things? I mean, I say that specifically because I got a friend who's missing a hand. Okay. And he was in actually a combine accident, but he only has one hand. Yeah. So he running a gun with two hands is hard. So his gun is set up so everything he can rack off the sights. He's got the Dawson Charger sights, and he can rack it. Now he's got a red dot on his gun, but he's got to have a gun set up so that he can run it completely one-handed. There's a specific requirement. Yeah. So whatever your requirements are, identify what they are, what that gun needs to be able to do on its own, and the application, which is going to tell you sizes and calibers and all that. And then make sure when you pick a certain gun out, it should fit your hand. When you pick it up, it should feel right in your hand.
Feel right. There's a lot of that's a real thing.
Oh yeah. Like, if it isn't, what you'll do is you'll fidget with it. It'll always feel some variation of wrong.
And you'll be moving it around, and that's true.
Mm-hmm. And you'll never get comfortable with it. You'll never trust it. You'll never have a consistent grip because it never quite feels right. Yeah. Like I know some people that any gun out there that you pick, it just doesn't feel right in my hand. Yeah. And they'll never shoot good with it because they're always fishing for the right grip and it's not there.
Yeah. Wow. See, I'm glad I asked. Yeah. So make sure.
That's gonna be important. It's got to be, first of all, like I say, it's got to be affordable. You have to be able to buy it. Like the greatest gun in the world you can't afford ain't yours.
Ain't yours. It's
got to be reliable and durable within the scope of your shooting. If you're not gonna shoot a lot, you're gonna go to the range, once a week and shoot it. That's something. Okay, got it. There's a lot of guns that'll do that. I'm one of those like I want a gun that's gonna shoot. When I pull a gun out of the box, it's got to shoot. I pull it out of the box and I shoot 1,000 rounds through it. Yeah. If I have any malfunctions in the first 1,000 rounds right out of the box, I'm not happy.
I'm gonna be insecure about it forever now.
Exactly. So that's my thing. I shoot a case of ammo through that gun, and once that's proven that I can take it out of the box, no maintenance, no lubrication, nothing. Shoot 1,000 rounds, it's good. Then I'll clean it up and I'll carry it. It's got to be affordable, obviously, and affordable to feed. Like if you're going to buy a gun with some boutique caliber that's expensive as hell, you ain't going to practice with it because you can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's got to be reliable, durable, and it's got to be appropriate to the task. If you're going to carry it concealed, you've got to actually be able to carry it concealed.
Yeah.
Like you might want a full size gun, but it's like you might want a full size gun because I shoot a P10F or a Glock 34 or a long slide M&P or a friggin' Walther or a Sig or whatever. I shoot this full size gun better. Yeah, but you can't carry it.
Yeah,
like it's this big ass gun. Like you're not going to be able to carry it comfortably, and so you won't carry it. Mm-hmm. And that's why I tell people, like, I would rather you have, like, I've seen dudes show up when I do covert carry class. Yeah. They'll show up with a G34 with a freaking X300 on and a red dot on.
I always see those guys on Instagram. I'm like, that looks so uncomfortable. Yeah. Either you're like the skinniest guy in the world who can just, like, I don't know, you got spots for that. Dude, but that much stuff in my pants is not okay with me.
It's everything but the folding stock, bro.
Yeah, if you can do it, good on you.
I will tell me, it's no different than carrying a Glock 19. Like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. You got like a whole can you got a 5-hour energy hanging off the bottom of your gun, bro.
Like, dude, like I put it on camera, like, you're telling me that's the same size? Well, it's pretty close. Like, no, it's not.
No.
That's right. When you start looking at a carry gun, if that's what you want, if you want it for that, make sure that it's a size that you'll actually carry. Yeah. Like, don't get a full size gun.
You don't want to deal with it.
You just go, oh man, it's a pain in the ass. That's why it's one of those things for gun selection. Make sure you can afford it. It's reliable. It's durable. It's accurate enough for the job. It doesn't have to be a super match gun, but it shouldn't be shooting a damn 7-inch groups at 25 yards. It's just a loose, crappy barrel. Yeah. And make sure that it is appropriate and it's in a size that you will actually carry if it's supposed to be a carry gun.
Yeah.
You got at a certain point. If you don't, I would rather you carry a little 380
and have it on you
than have a really badass gun and you're safe at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I did that with the 1911. Yeah, I got a Marine Corps. I was like, I'm about to carry me a 1911. Yeah. And I was running around in it, and then I was like, man, this thing's kind of heavy.
Right. And then I bullets in it.
Yeah,
I love these 1911s, bro. Yeah. I can't even tell you how many hundreds of thousands of rounds I got on, but made 1911.
Yeah. You're right. Like, and
it's not a modern handgun, right? They're great guns, and there's certain design features about them that make them like the sport gun. Like there's the way the barrel link is, and there's some stuff that nothing shoots quite like a 1911.
Yes, it's true.
But as far as a combative handgun, dude, when I was in Iraq, I had a Glock 19 with an Arredondo floor plate on it. I had 20+1 in Glock 19. I had 21 rounds in that gun.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah,
everybody's getting shot.
Everybody's getting shot
twice. Yeah, no, man. And I remember being like, and then I ended up throwing my Glock on, and I was like, ooh.
And, 2 max in 1.
Yeah, you hear the guys over there like, well, you don't look like a Tupperware gun guy. I'm like, no. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, this Tupperware is kind of all right with me.
Yeah, it's light. It's got a ton of bullets in it.
And now I'm digging my CZ, P10C, hybrid, and all that stuff. Man, this is where it's at for me right now.
Boom. Check it out, guys. You've been listening to the first half of a 2-part episode. We got after it, and I just thought it was best if I clip this one into 2 parts. So stay tuned and come back and check us out. I may drop it next week, or I may drop it after a little bit, so just stay in the loop, and we'll get you the second half of this awesome interview out. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events, and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place by teaching people how to protect themselves and the mindset behind that, the lifestyle behind that. You guys are already killing it. $1 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever you can do that you know you would probably just lose in the mattress anyway or spend on McDonald's. Hey, you want to put it towards something that's going to good use, put it towards a podcast, and get involved in our Patreon account at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com. And if you want to find me, that's ByronRodgersMotivation.com. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can to that Patreon account, because it makes all of these things possible, ladies and gentlemen. So much love. Thank you, and thank you for making those contributions. You guys rock. We're already doing amazing there, and it's just because of you guys. So thanks once again for those contributions. Boom. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode of Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. This whole entire thing actually just started off as a Facebook group that blew up and is one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, executive protection Facebook group online. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. Follow us on Instagram and check us out at executiveprotectionlifestyle.com. If you want to find me, that's ByronRodgersMotivation.com, and I'm on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So until the next podcast, y'all, stay sharp out there. And as I say it, one mind, many weapons. Talk soon. Out.